Hey, this is the Prophet with Nick Black. It's time to chit chat. You know nothing about blockchain. We here to fix that. You want the news on them new stocks? This where you get that. So go and grab you a nice chair. It's time to sit back and talk to Prophet. Hey, hey, you talking to the Prophet? Hey, hey, we talking condos and nice clothes and dropping Lambos. I remember them night codes. We couldn't stand those. Try to drop on them house roads, but had to stay low. Now there's solutions to hard bills.
We got another special event coming up, Oz, so let's talk about that.
We do, and I'm really excited about this because you and I, we love a good scanner. And Tom Gentile, and at 7 p.m., he's going to be here in the main room showcasing his quantum script technology, which is already making some major gains.
Yeah, why don't you tell everybody how his technology works to find all of those great trades?
Yeah, let me tell you about this. Basically, his quantum scripts technology, it combs through daily 3,000 stocks, okay, on the daily, okay? So it's combing through 3,000 stocks. Then it targets not just which is the best stock, but which one is most likely to move the most so we can capitalize on big gains like that. Predict which direction will move. So it doesn't matter if the stock goes up, if the stock goes down. Tom's looking for a big mover, what direction it's going to move, and then it can specifically target an option to play on it that's under $500. So you're having a trifecta of profits with this scanner. It's so cool. I've never heard anything like this. Okay, so I had to go to chat for this. So far, we've been reported a 152% win. Westlake, that was a 152% gain on that one. And then a cybersecurity ETF hack, 86% gain.
And the best part, both of those options were priced less than $200 per contract. Yep, absolutely. So listen, once you're a member of Quantum Data Profits, not only are you going to get group training sessions with the expert traders who developed this technology, you're going to get his top trade alerts as well. It is a special event with Tom, so be here at 7 p.m. and be sure to add it to your calendars right now. You do not want to miss it. So I'm looking forward to this, Vaz.
It's going to be really exciting. And Tom, I mean, he's been around for a while, so it's awesome to always get new technology that he's developing. And Quantum Scripts is really killing it. So we'll see you guys in the main room, 7 p.m. Add it to your callies and get those signals, baby. He's going to be giving them to us.
Pew, 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 pew. That's how they do it in the streets, bro. They throw the gun at you. Pew. Matter of fact, if the pew doesn't hit you, they just hit you with the gun. I read about this guy who he stole a Ferrari and then he got caught. He was drinking, because I guess that's what you do before you steal a Ferrari. He was drinking. He had the key in his pocket because you don't have to put the key in the Ferrari. So he got to one of those drunk checkpoints where the cops check you to see if you're an alkie. He ran off into I don't know where you would run, into the dirt or whatever. And he hid in the bushes. They impounded the Ferrari. He broke in, same night, by the way. He broke back into the impound and stole back his Ferrari that he stole. And then they let him out, I guess. I don't know how you would, I guess apparently if you're on the inside and you're driving, they're just like, oh, he's cool, let him go. He gets chased again because like 3 seconds later, they're like, hey, that guy stole the car again twice. Then he gets to a car garage where he's running. And I guess, I don't know if he was running uphill. I think he was running uphill. You know how there's a little ramp up. He's running. And he hears behind him, the cops are like, stop. And he's like looking. And he turns around and he hits in the head. He hits another cop's gun who's like this, like you have to stop. He hits himself and knocks himself out with the cop's gun. They say he's the dumbest criminal ever. He won the award for dumbest criminal ever.
What?
I was like, well, he was a genius when he stole the car back.
That's what I was gonna say. He's so resourceful. How's it dumb? If he's able to steal a Ferrari twice, once from an impound lot, How's he the dumbest criminal ever? That seems pretty resourceful to me.
So it seems
I
like
couldn't
in the
do
beginning,
that.
he was like Do Kwon and Michael Saylor in the beginning.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
And then in the end, when he ran into the gun, boop, he was a lot like Do Kwon and Michael Saylor now that UST has completely unlevered and that Luna and that whole farce Ponzi scheme has been exposed because math. Speaking of math, this isn't a plug. No one told me to do this. This is Alternative Wealth Day Live. But I got to spend a lot of time with Tom. We were in New York working on a thing with Tom, with many of the kind of puppeteers at Money Map and the kind of a lot of team members. It was really cool. And Tom and I actually are very aligned on a lot of things. So I'm curious what his kind of options aggregation, this kind of quantum strategy thing that he's doing. I'm very interested in it because I'm a big follower. I play in the option space a lot. Now I'm on the covered call, cash secured put side, but there are a lot of really good low risk, high leverage opportunities in the options market. If you are an options person, right, you like that idea of taking a little bit of money, using it on some very targeted leverage, then you want to check that out. Tom knows his stuff. He kind of let me look under the skirt a little bit. And it's very interesting what they're doing over there. And they have access to a lot of good information that it would just take you infinity to get that stuff on your own. So kudos to Tom. I think that's going to be very interesting. I think that's tonight if the commercial that we saw is accurate. Okay. What are we talking about today? Well, the entire market, as you guys know, went into chaos mode yesterday. Anything stick out, Brandon, that you thought was, remarkable or more interesting than any other day?
Are you kidding? So my Twitter feed. So I'm obviously on Twitter. I follow a lot of the NFTers, a lot of the crypto guys, a lot of that stuff. My Twitter feed yesterday, you would have thought it was the end of the world. The way everybody was talking, they acted as if a nuclear explosion had just happened and they don't know where to go. They're running around like chickens with their heads cut off. A lot of the guys are saying this is probably one of the top 3 worst days in crypto ever, just because of the mass amount of different things that happened, different events. Did you hear about the Azuki one, the Azuki thing? Basically,
isn't
one of the
that
top
where the
crypto
founder came out and said, didn't he say,
Yeah.
I mean, I do walk away from projects.
Yeah. So this he's one of the top 4 NFT. I think he's at like number 4, number 5 NFT projects right now. Huge value. Each one of the NFTs worth, last week it was worth 32 Ethereum floor price. This is a 10,000 piece collection, right? So he comes out and he says, I launched a couple other collections prior to this. And yeah, I walked away from them because they didn't do as well as I thought. So he rugged them basically. Rugging meaning he messed over all the investors basically.
He didn't rug them. If you sell
a slow
a bunch
rug,
of,
you walk away. It's a slow rug.
If I sell you my piece of stupid artwork,
no,
and you buy
that argument, sure.
No, wait. Think about it. What do I owe you after? What do I really owe you after the artwork?
Yeah, but if he promised utility along with the artwork, then
what utility? None of these things have utility.
That's
Brandon.
what they're promising stuff. Anyway, he rugged these projects.
Give me an example of one NFT in the whole world that's got utility. Just one. You can't. So what they do is they manufacture, and I will be honest, I own over.
Yeah.
Well, I'm not even going to say it. It's an amount of NFT like that would make you vomit. I own that. And it's mostly dormant. But I understand that there is no utility. What they do is they create a JPEG and they sell you on this idea of they kind of manufacture this weird world where in your mind you go, oh, okay, I guess that's kind of utility. Yeah, I could take my JPEG from my phone and I could put it on a little plastic screen in the background, and that's utility. And you're like, yeah, I guess. Wait, how does that make my life better? And that's the thing. Use, utility, and adoption has to do with how does it make my life or someone else's life better? Now, Brian, you're right. Future utility is voting, is airline tickets, plane tickets, concert tickets, coupons, legal documents. Absolutely right. But that's not what these are. That's not what these are. There is so far no utility in any NFT at all, period, full stop. There's manufactured utility. There's performance art. There's theater. There's no real utility. So everything after you get your JPEG is whimsy. You need to understand that. If you buy, you get your JPEG. Here you go. Here's your JPEG. Boop. Brandon, there's your JPEG. But I don't think it's a rug. The guy launched it. The money's out. You get bored. That's it. It's gone. It's gone. You still have your JPEG. So it's not like they stole from you. Now, had this guy, the Azuki guy, did he make promises of future airdrops and things like this that he did not honor?
No, I don't know that he actually did that. So, I mean,
so that would be the thing,
foul, right?
Yeah, I mean, really is. My guess is he was going to get outed, so he decided to front run it. Someone said, "Hey man,
what happened?"
He got a tweet or a DM. Someone's like, "I know about what you did." He's like, "Ah, crap. Okay, well, I did. Did it affect the floor price of Azuki?"
Did you see it? Yes. I mean, the floor price of Azuki dropped 60% at one point yesterday. And this is on top of everything else that is happening. Like this, it dropped down
UST.
to 11.
Yeah.
So it dropped. That's on top of that. It's on top of the Ethereum dropping, 8-9%, on top of everything else going on. So obviously it all culminated in this tragic, series of tragedies for the crypto market yesterday. It was nuts.
Well, it was a comedy of errors yesterday. And, I don't even know really where to start. It's the greater discussion is, the investors in the crypto space are not willing to put new currency units in. And a lot of them now we're beyond the point where people don't want to buy in. We're at the point where leverage is going to kick in. And I try to warn people as much as I can, do not take leverage in crypto. Don't be Michael Saylor. Don't borrow against your crypto to buy more crypto. There's a word for that. Brandon, what's the word for that? It rhymes with stupid. That is the word. Sorry.
That was the word. You nailed it.
It rhymes perfectly with stupid. You don't borrow a volatile asset to go buy the same volatile asset as a competent fiduciary for a company. And you definitely don't do it as a private investor. You just don't do it. That is stupid. That is gambling. Do Kwon, Tether, Terra, Luna, all that. Not Tether, Terra, Luna, that whole ecosystem. So Do Kwon and Michael Saylor and several other people, they think they know more than everyone else on the planet Earth. They tried to, in their own way, call the bottom. That's why they leaned into Bitcoin last week. They called the bottom. And they were wrong. By 30%, they were wrong. So in any other business, you're effing fired, bro. You're fired. Don't grab matter of fact, we'll pack up your desk, get out of the building. We're not going to validate your parking. So F you if you can't afford it. That's what happens in any other business. If you miss it by 30% with investor money, these guys are so wrong. But then you're wrong if you follow them. You're wrong if you own MicroStrategies because you know this guy's a psychopath. You're wrong if you follow and if you own UST for the 20%, which by the way is no longer 20% because it's an unsustainable reward, of course, because you can't manufacture 20% out of thin air, as it turns out. When you see that banks across America and across the world pay 2 basis points to your savings account, how do you think these other jackwagons get 20%? Remember, you're not staking with the way Luna and Terra works. You have Luna and you have Terra and you have UST, right? That's their stable coin. You buy Luna, you burn Luna, you make UST. You buy Luna, you burn Luna, you make UST. That's fine on the way up. Like all Ponzi schemes, they work on the way up. It's when they debase, you can't get back, because what do you have to do? You have to sell one for the other. And if people see that, you think they just sit and wait and say everything will be fine. So you lose the peg. So why anyone on earth would trust Do Kwon, because, math. It's not like I don't like the guy. The guy seems like a cool guy from his tweets where he attacks people for questioning math, right? I guess he seems cool. So, and I don't not like Michael Saylor. The guy's incredibly intelligent. But sometimes people are really smart at certain things. Like that weird guy at those Renaissance fairs who's like really good at making knives and axes. He's like so good. They're like, that's Bobby. Bobby makes knives and axes. He's a genius. He is a genius. Bobby's a knife and axe Renaissance fair, not taking showers genius. But he's not so good at financial responsibility. And when people aren't good at financial responsibility and, like math, don't give them your effing money. Dear God, man. It's the craziest thing. And when this was unwinding yesterday, so my rule is I know when we're at the bottom of a market because I'll get 4 calls from people I feel like are competent, sane, educated, in the space people. I got texts and Telegram messages from people with a combined net worth of over $3 billion. So people with some skin in the game, a billionaire and a centimillionaire who has, well, gosh, he has access to a lot. Anyway, the point is people are freaking scared, and which is for us that don't take on leverage, that just buy quality assets. It is absolutely amazing because you can sit back and you can look and say, okay, where in my portfolio can I add a little? Can I rebalance a little? Things like that. So for me, and I hope for you guys, I hope if you guys have been absorbing this stuff and you're not taking on leverage and you're just playing it smart, you've just focused on your 6-month cheat sheet, your what we call the November cheat sheet. You're looking, where do I have a discount? Everybody here just got in a time machine and got to go backwards over a year. And you're doing great. You're doing great if you don't take leverage. And really quickly, Nexo, for those of you that don't understand, Nexo is a trading platform. It's also a place where you can hold assets. Now, they are a proper quasi-decentralized, quasi meaning they have decentralized products, financial institution where they lend to people out the back end of the facility. You park your assets there, they over-collateralize loans, and you get part of the interest. It's kind of an 80-20 split or something like that. So it's not a Ponzi scheme because Nexo, there's nothing to Ponzi. They're making loans and you get paid for it. You're essentially partnering with Nexo in crypto-based lending. Now, are there assets on Nexo that I don't trust? Sure. UST, Luna, Solana, a handful of assets where the teams have proven that they are not competent fiduciaries. If the teams are dirty or if they are incompetent, what's the difference? There's no difference, man. Whether it's through malevolence, malaise, stupidity, it doesn't matter. It does not matter. They're just wrong. Stay away from them. Don't invest in them. If the team makes you uncomfortable, exit so that you can sleep at night, so that you're not pegged to these idiots and their bad behavior. And then, man, when these markets look like this, you feel good. I went shopping yesterday. I bought some stuff. Let's look. Well, technically, I'm always buying the things that I'm staking because you're always dollar cost averaging through staking, right? But the things that I added yesterday, should we talk about Matic really quickly, Brandon?
Dude, I was going to have you bring that up because that's cool because I hadn't even heard about this. You told me about this right before the show. This is actually something that could be, I think, a game changer for Matic. Good job.
I think it could be a real big game changer. Now, quick background, Matic was always kind of known as this layer 2, and because it was essentially, let's help Ethereum scale. Now, in the beginning, that wasn't enough for me to be an investor. I was like, that's not enough, man, because If your whole business, if your whole raison d'etre is to scale Ethereum, what happens when Ethereum scales on its own through these iterative software upgrades? You might say, well, what's left for Matic, right? Well, Matic is becoming, Polygon is the company name, it's becoming a layer one, a fully flushed out layer one. And yesterday it was announced that Meta, Facebook, will be using Matic to roll out NFTs and transactions on Instagram, which I don't know if people realize how big that ends up being. It's many, many magnitudes bigger than every single other anything in crypto, because it's direct to the people. It's not a dumb pay to earn game, play to pay or pay to play or get paid to kind of pray or what. It's not any of that stuff. It's not gamifying. It's simply saying we're going to take a giant compliant user base of rubes. Like, think about it. Like, Instagram is like, it's probably humanity wise, it's one of the worst cesspools of disgust on earth. But there's a lot of people that bang around on Instagram. A lot. People spend a lot of time on Instagram, whether it's looking at, quasi naked pictures of like beautiful people pretending to have great lives when really they're miserable, whatever. It doesn't matter. Point is, there's a lot of people. And if you're going to be the underlying protocol to service those transactions, because it will start as NFTs, this partnership is something they said they've been working on for months. They could finally announce it. So Matic, as we've been saying, now I didn't know about this partnership until yesterday, but as we've been kind of talking about, Matic is becoming a fully viable layer one that doesn't need we scale Ethereum as their bumper sticker. So I think this is a big deal. And I think over time it will be a big, big, big deal. My contention was that I think Matic can have a sizable chunk in the space. There's no reason it can't have every bit as big a market cap as Cardano. I mean, I love Cardano, but they didn't sign a deal with Facebook. Sorry, Meta, right? I like Polkadot-ish, but they haven't signed a deal with anyone. I like Algorand, except that they don't market and they think we're all stupid. And FIFA, please. Now, is that good for name brand recognition? Yes. But is that going to mean people are going to buy Algorand? No. Matic, this partnership between Matic and Meta, Facebook, Instagram, is a revenue generating partnership because people will be using the token. Companies will be using the token. Advertisers will be using the token. And Instagram will be using the token. So I think that's a big deal. And I think if the market wasn't so panicked right now and getting punished, this thing would have probably 2x'd last night. It'd be up 100%. 2 or 3 years ago, just that news would have made Bitcoin double in value because you would have thought, man, the real world's coming to crypto. And it was, anyway, that's all I've got. As far as the rest of the market, so I did buy some Matic yesterday. And when I could confirm the tweet, I went and I hunted on Twitter and I'm like, oh, God, this is real. And it hadn't moved. It was at 80 cents. I was like, buy. I didn't buy a lot. I think I bought 6,000 tokens. But it's the dust I had in my Coinbase Pro account and I done bought it. So good on them for doing a real deal in amid all this chaos. The other thing that I bought AGIX. I bought AGIX yesterday at 7.7 cents because to me, it's too cheap. And I've made so much off of the staking between Singularity DAO, which, by the way, earlier in the weekend, I think Saturday morning, I did add Singularity DAO at 80. No, gosh, I added 90 cents. So this is another one that I'm probably looking at to add some more. But you got to believe in the things that you're adding, and you have to for the right reasons. And Look's token is getting punished as it should. And I think it's going to get punished more. Isn't it today or tomorrow where they reprice the interest, the rewards? Let's see.
Yeah, they released their version 2 too. I think they're going to change a few things, but yeah, it's basically getting worse.
Yeah, they're going to reprice this. This is going to get repriced today or tomorrow, and then that number is going to come way down. So we'll see. Okay, that being said, should we answer some crypto questions from our community of friends?
We have some fantastic questions today, and I'm glad you asked about them. Look at this. K-Girl. What will the impact of the Fed's rate rise on crypto? If the stock market crashes, will it take crypto down with it?
Well, it has been. It has been. This is a byproduct of everybody wanted everyone to hold crypto, right? I want hedge funds to come in. I want institutional investors. We want all this. Okay, cool. Well, you got your wish. Now, those same people that made money in crypto last year, anytime the rest of their balance sheet gets beaten up, they're selling. Most of them are still in the profit. Well, probably not now. I would say that the selling pressure will decrease now because as you look at the year on the year, most of these assets are down pretty heftily. Therefore, most of that early selling pressure is gone. But for the most part, they're going to sell their winners to cover their losers, or they're going to sell the things that they trust the least. They all hold, not they all, but many institutional investors, not hedge, let's just say hedge funds that own crypto are going to dump it whenever they need cash, period, full stop. That's the way it is. So many people got their wish, especially the Bitcoiners. They got their wish. This is the other side of their wish. When the unwind happens, it's the same thing with UST. And when the little group that holds Bitcoin that was buying up Bitcoin 3 weeks ago going, yeah. And that pumped the Bitcoin market. It was Do Kwon buying Bitcoin as collateral. Well, if Bitcoin goes down in value, you now have to sell it. So the buyer of last resort is now the seller of first resort, and there's no market buyer. There's no aggregate buyer. So when they hit the ask, there is nobody to cover. There's nobody buying. And if there's nobody buying, you have these gap down scenarios. That's what you had yesterday, I think. You had the unwind of Terra, of Luna, and the unwind of, matter of fact, I think they liquidated $750 million worth of Bitcoin to try to cover the chaos and damage that was happening to this stable coin. Anybody here think a stable coin, it's cool if a stable coin gets down to 61 cents to the dollar? Does that seem like a stable coin to you, Brandon?
You're saying a 40% drop. You're saying a 40% drop is stable?
Yes.
Is that what you're trying to tell me? Okay,
Yes.
let me do my,
Yes.
hold on. I got a pencil. Let me do my math.
If that pencil lost 40% of its size, would it still be just as good of a pencil?
This is like one of those word problems that my wife hates so much. This is good. So if I make my pencil this much shorter,
yeah,
will it still be? No, it's not good.
This is the
horrible.
kind of math people use the reverse. They use the reverse kind of math of that on their dating profiles. Okay, let's do another question.
Yeah, we got another question here.
And really quick, Natalia, a stable coin is a crypto asset that is trying to be pegged to a fiat currency. For instance, a US dollar. You'd have a US dollar stable coin. It's supposed to maintain the buying power of $1 US. And my contention is you can't have a stable coin that is a dollar if you don't have dollars. Using crypto to manufacture stability in the fiat world is not what this is all about. Stable coins are a weird, stupid perversion of crypto. They are a weird necessity, and I don't think anybody other than governments will be able to do it right. Because if you don't have dollars, for the dollars, it's not an effing dollar. Why is this so hard to get? Well, I don't understand.
Tell us how you really feel, Nick. Tell us how you really feel.
I'm taking crazy pills. You know what? That's
Nando wants to know.
5 seconds of digestion on that. Just digest that. What are the negatives? What are the negatives on FTM? Is it a buy or stay away? I would say I would not be buying anything that's not super quality right now. Buy quality infrastructure, and I don't think FTM is of the same quality as like your top 20, top 25 assets. So for me, it's a hard pass. I'm staying in the top 20-ish. I'm staying Bitcoin, Ethereum, Cardano, Polkadot, Near, Matic. I'm staying with quality assets. Cosmos, Algorand. That is all. Okay.
NFTs. There you go.
Let's grab one more.
Cameron, Cameron wants to know, he can't get into Coinbase or Binance. What's his way of getting into the market to make money in crypto?
To make money in crypto? Well, you'd have to make money in crypto. That's an abstract question. That gets into, that's a big giant.
Don't fall into the
55,
weeds. Don't fall
55.
into the weeds on this one.
Yeah. I think what we do is we say, if you can't get a Coinbase account, I'm not sure where you live, but you should be able to get either Coinbase or Kraken or KuCoin. And that would be an on-ramp. One of those three should be an on-ramp. If you can't, I mean, unless you're in prison, don't you have someone on the outside you can write to? The one that got away? Right? Yeah, young lovers and serial killers, they always have the one that got away. Talk to the one that got away. Have them set you up an account. Hopefully they live in a state like Texas or California where the People's Republic of New York is not stepping on your throat. And on that note, I believe we should call it a day. We will see you soon. We'll see you Thursday. We'll see you Friday, back on the normal scheduling thing. And then is Chicago next week? I think it is.
That's next week. Next week.
Stay in school. Don't do drugs. Don't buy Terra or Luna. Don't trust Michael Saylor or Do Kwon. Don't do anything my poor insolvent drunk struggling on meth grandmother or Breric wouldn't do, which is very, very little. Pew pew. Pew 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 pew.
We talking condos and nice clothes and driving Lambos. I remember them night codes, we couldn't stand those. Try to drive on them house roads, but had to